All right, so we are going to look at how to remember the major events from the Civil War. And so we use the letter N as our baseline for our timeline, and you can see the events around it right there. And so we're going to show you how we get to do this. All right, here we go. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start by making our letter N. Why the letter N? Well, because in the Civil War, who wins? The North. So we're going to go ahead and put a letter N on our paper. All right, with our letter N, we're going to start at the very bottom on the first side. And we start at the bottom for two reasons. One, because it's the beginning, and then two, also because the war starts in the South. And so the first battle of the Civil War takes place in South Carolina at Fort Sumter. And it is going to be a Southern victory. So that's why you see me doing it in gray, but also the fact that it took place in the South. And that's going to happen on April 12th, 1861. Now, for the beginning of the war, the North is not doing a great job. The South is on the defense. They know the land, they have good shots, and so they're doing really great at winning a lot of these battles and skirmishes. But on September 17th, 1862, at the Battle of Antietam, and I'm going to write this on the line going up, we are going to see the South come in to invade the North. They're going to come into Maryland. So notice we're moving up the line, going into the North. That's going to result in a Northern victory in September of 1862. This is the bloodiest 24 hours in American history. In this 24 hours, you had approximately 23,000 casualties just from this battle. And this battle's also going to help the North with Lincoln deciding to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. And that's at the very top. It's at the top because this is a turning point in the war. Notice I come up to the top and then I'm going to come back down. So I'm going to meet this turning point. The Emancipation Proclamation is written by Lincoln. It comes into effect January 1st, 1863, in which it says any of the rebelling states, the slaves in those states are now free. Did Lincoln really have the power over those states? No, but it gives people in the North a reason to fight. It also helps to open up the Northern military for African American recruits and gives them a reason to fight for the Union too. On our next part of the N, we're going to have the Battle of Gettysburg. It's in blue, so it is a Northern victory, but it's a Northern victory that comes at a high cost for all Americans. It's a Northern victory that over the course of 3 days, July 1st to July 4th, 1863, we are going to have numerous casualties. You're going to see tens of thousands of men who are killed within this battle. Lee had decided to invade the North. He was hoping that a quick victory in the North would lead to a victory for the Confederacy and recognition by foreign countries that the Confederacy was a legitimate, independent nation. and it didn't happen there. At the same time as the Battle of Gettysburg, you actually had the Battle of Vicksburg. And I'm going to circle that area right there. Notice it makes a V when I circle it. Vicksburg is going to happen in the south. It actually begins May 18th, and it's going to end July 4th, 1863. It's not as much a battle as it is a siege. The Union Army is going to surround Vicksburg. It's on the Mississippi River. If you are in control of the Mississippi River, the Union could divide the South. The western states in the South that were part of the Confederacy, like Texas, had been providing livestock and food to the Southern troops. And so by controlling the Mississippi River, you're dividing that. You're keeping those needed goods away from the troops. And so that siege at Vicksburg, which lasts about a month and a half, is going to be a very important Northern victory. And so inside that circle with that V, what we like to do is we like to divide it in half. And so that shows us why it's so important. Coming up on the next line, we have the Gettysburg Address. With the tens of thousands of men who died at the Battle of Gettysburg, many of them were buried in those fields. And so Abraham Lincoln, the president of the North, of the United States, was asked to come give a speech at that battlefield to help dedicate that battlefield. And so on November 19th, 1863, he gives the Gettysburg Address. And it is in that moment, in that short speech, only 272 words, that he takes the cause of the Union and makes it about liberty and makes it about equality. He says to the people to remind them that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. And it is those victories, and even the victory that comes from giving this speech, that are going to lead to more and more Union victories. And so at the top of our N, the final victory is going to take place called Appomattox Courthouse. On April 9th, 1865, there was a small battle outside of Appomattox. In the end, Robert E. Lee is going to surrender to Union General Ulysses S. Grant, officially surrendering for the Confederacy and officially ending the Civil War on April 9th, 1865. And so as you can see with our end timeline, it serves as a great memory technique for us to remember the battles and important events of the Civil War.